My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you're watching the Rasslin Rage YouTube show.
Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. We'll do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
And now, Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
All right, so welcome back. Oh, look at this. See, I'm behind. I got stuff. There was so much going on. Again, the server messed up for some reason. It must have did an update, and when it did the update, it must have erased everything. So I'm back to square one again, and I'll have to work on it again. However, thank you for joining me and my man Alan here. Episode 64. For some yeah, you see, I mess everything up all the time. I'm the guy running the show. You know me as Cody. Of course, again, this is Mr. Alan Hart, the camera guy.
Cameraman,
That's right. This is your second time on the show.
Yes,
if you don't know, he films all of our on-site interviews, so that's good stuff. So thanks for coming on again.
Hey, it's great to be back.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Make sure that you guys scroll down into the, what will we call that? Did I sell him my beard? No, not yet. Make sure you scroll down there. First and foremost, you will find the donation link, and sometimes maybe if this thing will work, it'll pop up in the chat. But you can donate $1, you can donate $5, whatever it is. Every piece of change, 50 cents, whatever, goes right to the show, and we always, buy more equipment or do what we need to do. Also, there are limited edition Rasslin Rage shirts available in the Streamlabs store. If you click on the donation link, there's a tab up there that says merch store. You click on that and you can find the shirts. There's only 15 of them, and once they're gone, they're gone. But we also have other t-shirts that are on Rasslin Rage or on ProWrestlingTees.com/Rasslin Rage. Check them out. Rasslin Rage t-shirts are available on ProWrestlingTees.com/Rasslin Rage. Just click the link in the description to visit our store on Pro Wrestling Tees website. Every shirt is 100% cotton and available in sizes up to 5X. Show your love for Rasslin Rage and get yours today. That's right. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/Rasslin Rage. There's only one t-shirt available right now. We got a couple things in the works to get a couple more up there, so check that out and make sure you keep your eyes open for that. Those are pretty cool, but there's a link down there for WWEshop.com. Go there and spend all your money, and also you can click Highspots.com. And as some people from 5MW would say, go steal $20 out of your mom's wallet and go buy a t-shirt on WWEshop.com, but make sure you click the link down there. Anyway. So make sure you scroll down there after the show. Rasslin Rage also has Facebook and Twitter, both at Rasslin Rage, but Twitter has capital R's for that one. Definitely make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, r2youtube.com. I thought you would get a kick out of that. And we also have a website, wrestlinrage.com. Make sure tonight, the video you're watching right now, or the live video, live feed, whatever you want to call it, even if you're watching the replay, make sure you smash the thumbs up. Smash it many, many times.
All the way up.
Yeah, many times. This week, instead of Collector's Corner, because this is a half-hour interview, roughly, that we're about to watch, I want, we're going to, instead of Collector's Corner, we're going to do this. And when we come back, we'll talk about some indies. So I had the opportunity to sit down with XICW Proving Ground rookie Nolan Edwards. We're going to watch that right now. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to upload that to the YouTube on its own or not, considering that it's a half hour anyways, and it's already cutting in a half hour into my show. So, which I'm not complaining about. I'm not complaining about. All right. So here we go. Our interview with Nolan Edwards. I'm joined here by Nolan Edwards, number 5 rookie, right? Announced for XICW. Was it
I believe I was number 5, but we're just gonna say I was number 1.
Okay, number one, Nolan Edwards for XICW Proving Ground, which episode 1 takes place in Detroit on Sunday at the what's the name of the bar? What's that called?
Hot Rocks. It's changed names a few times.
Oh.
But I believe the full name is the Hot Rocks Bar and Music Bar and Grill.
Okay. Right. All right. Well,
it's on Hoover.
Well, me and a few of my friends will be down there. We got one of those VIP booths with the pizza and the pop. Can't beat that deal. But so let's talk about XICW Proving Ground first, because I've seen you at the first time I ever watched you wrestle was at a Proving Ground. Was actually at the season finale. Now I've seen some of your matches online. And I'm pretty good friends with Billy Ray Daniels and Weaponized Alex Weir and Cyrus Satine and those guys. But and Billy Ray, he talks you up all the time. Every time he's on the show, every time I talk to him, you got to check this Nolan Edwards guy out, man. He's amazing. And so, tell me what it was like to get the call from, was it DBA that called you and said, "Hey, you're going to be a rookie on the next season," or how did it go?
Well, the thing, season 5, I wasn't wrestling yet. The first episode they did of season 5, now that you mentioned Billy Ray, I actually went down there. Well, I don't say down there because it's remotely in like a close area to me, but I went down to there the first episode of season 5 to support him. I started setting up the ring, tearing it down, and then and I wasn't even wrestling shows yet. I didn't have my first match yet, and I was still in training. Fast forward to like episode 5 or 6, maybe 4, 5, or 6, I can't remember. I had my first match, not first match of all time, but I wrestled for Proving Ground for the first time. So it went from me buying a ticket, episode 1, helping set up and tear down, and then wrestling for Proving Ground. So season 5, I became like a regular name towards the end of the season.
Right, and I did notice too that you had quite a following out there too. There was a lot of people going nuts for you guys out there when I was there. So
surprisingly, I don't know what it was. I walked out in my first match there, and I was like, I think the nastiest and most aggressive I've ever been, and then they ended up cheering for me when I won. So I was like, oh, I guess they like this.
Yeah. Well, it's Detroit, man. What do you expect?
Yeah. And so ever since then, I get like cheer. Like I think I wrestled at Fraser Lions Club for XI this past Sunday, and I was standing on the apron. It was a fatal 4-way tag team Lucha Rules match. Another big name. And I wasn't even in the match, and there was "We Want Nolan" chants in the match, and the belt just rang.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when I got the said call, it was tearing down the ring after I think the season finale of Proving Ground. Michael Z and Ross walked up to me and, well, kind of like told me like, "Oh, you're going to be on the next season of Proving Ground." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's cool. So now I know DBA and I know MM3 and I know those guys and they've been in the business for a long time. DBA, especially the Monroe family. It's the Monroe dynasty, if that's the way I see it, because basically, and a lot of people say this, and I quite agree with this, is DBA is the godfather when it comes to wrestling in Michigan now. After the Sheik being gone, but what's it like working for DBA?
I think it's fun. Out of all the promotions I've worked for, I have the most creative, I don't want to say control, but I have, at XICW, I have it's like they give you the platform.
Yeah.
And it's up to you at that point.
Right.
And I think that's what's helped me not only become a new wrestler, but also try new things, figure out what works for me and what doesn't, and
Definitely.
be able to work the crowd. Like you said, I had quite the following when I was down there, so I was like, since I started wrestling there and wrestling for him, I've definitely become a better wrestler and a better, like, I'd just say well-round,
Right.
like more than just wrestling.
Right.
I would say it's helped me find like my creativity with it, find the character, find how to work everything, and it's all just from whenever we go out there, like, all right, do your thing.
Right.
And that's it. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's up to me.
Right. And that's the one thing about XICW shows that I love, and I know a lot of other people do, that it's from the moment you walk in that door and that first bell rings, it's go time, and it's the next match, the first match all the way to the end match. It's as Dave Meltzer would put it, 5 stars all the way across the board. But every match is outdoing the next match, and it's just amazing to me that the passion and the physicality that these guys are putting in there, and you included and everybody else. But with that said, you were telling me a little bit ago, we were talking a little bit, you're heading to Florida, huh? Now you said you've only been in the business for 6 months, and you already got a call to go to Florida. Now you got to tell me about this.
It wasn't so much as a call, but more a message. So I'm heading down to Florida today. Today's Friday. I'm heading down Tuesday to be there Tuesday night to get ready for the following day. So January 23rd, ACW Proving Ground.
Well, now see, that's a big deal. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, that's a big deal because I know guys down there, and you know guys down there, but that's WWN, and that's owned by Gabe Sapolsky. And if anybody doesn't know who Gabe Sapolsky is, that used to be Paul Heyman's right-hand man back in the day during the ECW days. He's pretty good friends with Triple H, and they do a lot of work with NXT. So that's a big deal, man. You know?
It's definitely up there and possibly one of the best opportunities I've gotten so far.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So you're going down there. You're going to compete in the Proving Ground for ACW. And then who are you facing? So this one's going to have me torn. I'm going to tell you right now because Cyrus has been on the show a few times. We're pretty good buds, and I'm going to be a little torn on this one. I'm going to be honest. Right?
Yeah. So I've gained somewhat of a obsession with the fact that I can prove myself through Cyrus at this point. Yeah. And so if you've seen the promo that ACW posted, I guess I would call it like a mind game sort of thing, wearing Cyrus's old shirt, comparing myself to him. And the biggest thing is I think Cyrus and I are a lot alike. Listening to what last time he was in Michigan, listening to him like doing that post-match interview after he beat Alex, I'm listening and I'm just like, me and this guy are a lot alike. Like,
yeah, that was deep too, man. That was real deep.
Almost terrifying how much alike we were. And I'm like, and I got this shot to go down there, and that's who I'm wrestling day one that I'm there. So I'm going to make this like the most personal thing I can make. And it's not just that, it's also he won season 4 of XICW Proving Ground, and I'm on the current season.
Yeah.
And at first I was thinking, even though it's not the thought I want to have go in my head, well, we're doing the first episode of Proving Ground before I go to Florida, because that's this Sunday. I go to Florida Tuesday. What if I'm eliminated first day, but now there's no eliminations the first day?
Right.
So I feel like going down to Florida and facing Cyrus really helps me, depending on the outcome, really prove myself, and maybe I can come back with that momentum. And every time I go to Proving Ground, I can say, hey, I've beaten 2 seasons ago's winner. Last season was Billy Ray. We've wrestled each other once. I've beaten him.
Right.
So And from that point on, I can kind of walk with that momentum and carry myself a different way.
Right. Well, and that's awesome. Now, is this the first time that you've traveled out of state to wrestle?
Man, I got to think about that. I've gone to Canada once.
Oh, okay.
And did a hype match before a show started, and then I did a seminar in Indiana.
Okay.
But didn't wrestle on the show that day because I was still in training. I wasn't doing matches yet.
Well, still, it was still Florida right now. Canada too. Both are a mecca for wrestling. It's amazing how much wrestling's going on down there, especially now with AEW going on too. You know, so
it'll be the first time I ever get on a plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So well, I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? You know, so I mean, I'm going to ask you a couple basic questions. I mean, we know you're from Michigan, right? You live here in the Great Lakes State. Where exactly are you from? You know, don't give us your address.
No. Well, there is no address because it's kind of like I live in Michigan right now, but it's like anywhere could be out from the outsider core is mine.
Right. Okay.
If that makes sense.
No,
anywhere. So if I go down to Florida, I'm still at home.
Right.
If I wrestle in Canada, I'm still at home. If I wrestle in Michigan, I'm still at home. That's kind of how I look at it.
All right. I like that one. What is your signature move and or finisher?
I've been told I give a mean enziguri.
I like that.
Every time I hit it, it's like everybody in the crowd gasps. So I've noticed.
Right.
And then everybody in the back is like, "Man, you kicked his head off," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point." But then my favorite move that I do is probably the deadlift powerbomb that I do. But then as far as like signatures go, I always try to hit the reverse pile driver to finish the match.
There you go. All right, nice. Now, tell us about, you know, so far, what your most memorable match so far that took you to that place that you haven't been yet, you know? The one that you're like, man, I got to wrestle that guy again.
MM3.
Yeah, you know, and I always, anytime you see that guy wrestle, and it doesn't matter who he wrestles, it's always a great match.
Yeah, it was the first. So kind of like it's changed. If you were to ask me this question a few months ago or weeks ago, it would have changed. But at first, it would be like guys that I wrestle, like the home promotion I trained at and everything. Like I wrestle this guy, like doesn't matter who, like once, and I'm like, oh, that was the match that took me to the limit. But then we wrestle each other 4, 5, 6 more times, and it's like, well, I just don't really care anymore.
Right? Yeah. Well, you wrestle, you do anything with the same person the same amount of times, you just kind of get used to it, and it becomes boring and stale.
Yeah, I guess it's not I don't care anymore. It's like, yeah, I got too used to it. So I was like, yeah, it did take me to the limit, but now all I can think about is like the 6th match that we did.
Right.
So it kind of fizzled out that one moment we had, and that's happened to me with like 3 guys.
Right.
Where I'm like had a great match with them, and then we wrestled each other 6 more times within the next 2 months, and I'm like, man. But me and 3 have only ever had one singles match. We faced off against each other in that tag match that you were at, the season 5 finale, and then we've wrestled each other at Horror Slam once in a triple threat.
Right.
So
yeah, I was there for that match. That was a great match. You know, obviously there's some family issues there, but hey, whatever it is, right? Yeah. Now you gotta be. You seem like a pretty cool guy, and you know, I'd probably hang out with you if you were closer. But how does your friends and family feel about your wrestling?
That's like it tore my family up.
Really?
So I was living at home when I started training for wrestling with my parents. I had an apartment at one point. It didn't work out. Moved back in with my parents. And like as soon as I started wrestling, I was like, or training for it at least. They said, like, my mom mainly was like, oh, I don't like this. My dad was like, I don't care as long as you make money. And I'm like, cool. So like I had a job and everything, and I was going to training like I think 3 times a week at that point.
Right.
And training for me was an hour drive, and so they factored in a lot of points, but it came down to it when I started working matches that they said it's either keep wrestling and don't live here or stop wrestling and still live here. And so I was like, oh man, and got the boot because obviously I'm still wrestling.
Right, yeah.
So it's been hard with family, but friends, I've noticed more friends as of late have been like reaching out. So like trying to take social media more seriously and everything,
Right,
like
yeah.
Instagram, post the question stuff you can do on Instagram,
Yeah,
whatever.
that social media, man, you can get lost in that stuff. You know what I mean? You know, with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, man. There's so much of it, I can't even keep up with it all.
Yeah, but I've been noticing like while building a fan base, I've gotten friends through that. Well, and then like old friends from whether it was like the film school I went to or high school or whatever I was doing before wrestling. I got like I think I got a message this morning saying like, "Hey, congrats," from somebody I went to high school with.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, hey, it was like, "Hey, congrats on Florida. Hope I can come to a live show when you're like back in town soon when you come
Right,
back."
that's cool.
And so that's been pretty cool. Like friends that like this Sunday at XI, I have a friend that would watch wrestling with me when we were in middle school, and then we went to different high schools, and I haven't seen him since. That's going to be there.
Right.
So
Now,
it's cool. It's cool to see it.
Now, talking about, you said you had a friend that you watched wrestling with in middle school. So, obviously, you know, some guys, they start out as amateur wrestlers and say in high school and, you know, they've watched wrestling, they start out as an amateur wrestler, and then they start professionally wrestling. Was that did you watch wrestling and want to become a professional wrestler? Were you ever an amateur wrestler, or you just...
I watched wrestling, and my earliest memory of wrestling is it getting turned on the TV at my aunt's house and then the channel changing.
Okay.
That's my earliest memory of wrestling. And
Right.
then more so, I'd say when I was like 6 or I want to be the dude that says like I've been watching wrestling ever since I was 2, but I don't think that's true.
Right.
And so I'm just gonna say by the time I was old enough to know what I was doing, I was always a wrestling fan.
There you go.
In 6th grade, so middle school, I started amateur wrestling, and I did that all the way up until junior year of high school. So I did it for a few good years.
Right.
And I did some tournaments in like it was called like the freestyle amateur wrestling. So like there wasn't as many rules, so to say. Like I'm not gonna say we're like gonna go out there and hit each other while like mat wrestling or whatever.
Right.
In a tournament, but I did amateur wrestling, and then I did like a step up from it, and then started going to pro wrestling training. So yes, amateur wrestling background is heavy, and I honestly think it shows in my matches.
Yeah, I a lot of guys I talk to, that's all they've ever done was amateur and then came in.
Yeah.
Now, so I ask this pretty much to everybody. You know, I've interviewed quite a few people nowadays. Well, I'm getting there at least anyways. But one question I like to ask is, what's a great piece of advice you've received from another wrestler, and what's a great piece of advice you would give to another wrestler? So 2 questions there.
Oh man.
I got you.
Yeah. It's literally like I swear every show I'm on, there's like another piece of advice that is like given.
Right.
It's hard. I think literally every weekend I get asked a good or like give good piece of advice. Oh man. If I had to say, I've gotten some really good advice from Billy Ray.
Okay.
I've gotten some really good advice from him, and sometimes the best advice I've gotten from him is him just telling me, "Oh, just do your thing, you'll be good."
Right.
Like if I'm panicking or whatever, he'll just say, "Oh, just do you, be yourself, and then you're gonna be good from there." And I'm like, "Okay." I don't know if you know him, but Mr. One Night Only,
I have heard of him. I've seen him wrestle at a show. I have not actually met him, but I do know who you're talking about.
I trained with him, and I actually carpool with him to training and everything. He's given me some really good advice. He's like a go-to whenever like something comes up and this and that. I think he was one of the first ones to find out about Florida. All of my trainers always give me good advice.
Right. Well, that's good. Now,
I have a lot of trainers, so it's hard to see which one would give better advice.
And, you know, there's nothing really wrong with that because because I teach karate, so and matter of fact, Weaponized Alex Weir is one of my instructors. He teaches me how to do karate, and he's I'm almost 40. He's like 20 something, right? But anyways,
yeah, he's a little bit older than me, I believe.
Well, but anyways, I know what it's like. It's like you like to learn from everybody because you get a little piece from everybody, and you kind of make everything. You can take all of that and make it your own. You know what I mean? Instead of taking everything from one person. So I really like that, and I can relate to that definitely. So you're heading off to Florida. You're doing your thing. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, or where do you want to be in 5 years in the wrestling business specifically?
I really, and I don't know how to say it, but I really, there's certain specific personal reasons why I'm in wrestling, and that's like a whole other story. But as soon as I started wrestling, some things have changed where I'm like, okay, this is a new goal. Like, my first year of pro wrestling, I really wanted to get on Proving Ground, and I'm doing that now.
Right.
And so I had to change. So, I have goals for this year, and then I have goals, for whatever. Within the next 5 years, the first indie show I ever went to when I was still training was an Evolve show.
Yeah,
I knew...
Evolve's amazing, by the way.
Yeah, I knew little about independent wrestling, and I was going to wrestling school, so that just proves how much of the outside world I knew.
Right.
Quote back to me saying I'm going to be on a plane for the first time in a week, so that just adds to it.
Right.
Ever since that Evolve show, I've just really wanted to wrestle for Evolve.
Yeah, and it's an amazing promotion, especially there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, so
especially with them bringing in these guys like Jory Gargano and the Street Profits and Cassius Ono. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, the goal at first, and I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm driving home from training. I went to 2 different schools for training yesterday, just yesterday alone. And so it explains why I'm super sore right now. But I was just driving, and I was like, man, for the first time since I had my first match, 7 months ago, in front of a crowd, which there was 6 people there. Right. It was the first time where I was like, man, I'm wrestling right now.
Yeah.
It's weird. I feel like wrestlers would understand what I'm talking about, and they'd say, yeah, I've had those moments where it's you've always wanted to do it, and then you get so lost in it's happening every weekend, you don't think about it too much, and then you sit down and everything kind of slows down. At the end of the day, you're like, wow, I wrestled. I'm doing what I always wanted to do, kind of thing. So it's always, for 5 years, man, I just want to wrestle. But if I had to put something to it, I'd love to wrestle for certain companies.
Right. All right. Well, I want to say thanks for, giving me the opportunity to interview you because, I, like everybody, I always tell you guys, I watch a lot of professional wrestling, mostly indies because that's what I like. But
right.
There's guys out there that that are going to do something. What it is, they're in control of it, but they're going to do something. And I believe that you're one of those guys. So I really thank you for coming on the show. Before we get out of here, could you tell my viewers and the people that may listen or what have you, where they can find you, and if any promoters see you, how they can book you?
You can find me. I will fully admit I don't understand how Twitter works. So the best places, The best places to find me is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All three of those I keep up to date all the time. On YouTube, it's just Nolan Edwards. Any match I have that's recorded, which is typically almost all of them, will be uploaded within the next day of the show. And then Instagram is at official Nolan Edwards. Every Thursday, I do questions on my story. I always stay up to date with posts of highlights or pictures or promoting the shows that are upcoming that weekend. And then Facebook, if you just search Nolan Edwards, I'm always posting where I'm going to be or sharing the posters for shows I'm going to be at. For promoters, if you want to, I guess I'd say booking inquiries.
There you go.
It's booknolanedwards@gmail.com. And but out of all of those, I'd say Instagram is probably the best place to get up to date.
All right. Well, so we're gonna see you this weekend. I'll be there. I'll make sure to look for you and say hi. But you'll see us. We're gonna be in the VIP booth. There's gonna be like 6 of us there. So it's definitely.
I'll be running around in black and silver with crazy face paint on.
Yeah, I've seen the picture. By the way, I posted that picture of you to tell people that I was going to interview you in that picture, and people like what you look like there. They really dig it. There's a lot of engagement on that photo, so definitely good stuff.
It's an interesting look.
Yeah, definitely. All right, buddy. Well, I want to say thanks again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Have a good one, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Check you later. And there you have it. That was the interview that I did earlier today with Nolan Edwards. And, you know, as PKSA Port Huron said in the chat, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for this kid, because everybody I talk to that I know, that it's either wrestlers or promoters or whatever, they always want to, they have good things to say about them. So you're definitely, you know, if you're ever at a show, you might definitely go say hi and maybe get an autograph, and maybe you'll see him in a different ring on TV eventually. You know what I mean? He's already heading to Florida, so definitely take a look at that. Now, for the indies, before we get too far into too much, Alan has the best job tonight.
Yep, sure do.
First, I want to give a big congratulations to Michigan and Michigan Independent Tag Team Lotus, Gavin Quinn and Juntai. They're scheduled to compete tonight for Evolve 119 in, I believe it's in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, so you can catch that tonight on WWNlive.com, or you can probably catch it on a replay somewhere. I'm sure you'll see something on there. I posted there was a hype reel that was done for Evolve for tonight, and there's a tag team tournament, and the winner of the tag team tournament, I believe, gets to go against the Street Profits for the titles, for the Evolve title. So, tag titles, by the way. So, tickets went on sale last week for Blue Water Championship Wrestling event on February 2nd. $15 in advance, $20 at the door. Family 4-packer for $50. Tons of fun for the family at every BWCW event. Get your tickets before they sell out at PKSA Port Huron and St. Clair, and also at the American Legion. You can also get a hold of Weaponized Alex Weir. You can message him on his Facebook page, or you can message Billy Ray Daniels. All of those guys will have tickets available, so go ahead and give them a message and buy some tickets from them. And like Josh says, you can have them stop by your house and start having them autograph everything for you.
That's a good idea.
Right. So definitely awesome stuff. I hope to see you there. But we know so far that Blake Ackerman will be facing Justin May. Did you see that?
Wait, is he no longer going by Blake Ackerman?
No, it's Blake.
Just Blake?
Just Blake.
Just Blake.
Yeah,
okay.
He'll be facing Justin May for BWCW, the heavyweight title. I will be sitting down, you and I will be sitting down with Blake before the show on February 2nd to do a little interview with him, because he's on an upswing with the Blue Water Championship.
Yes, he
He won one match in Blue Water Championship Wrestling, and he's got
himself a title match.
yeah. Hey, Cool. So I'm going to interview him.
Yeah.
You know, hey, let's see what it's like, right? So you can check that out on the YouTube channel. Weaponized Alex Weir will be facing MM3. Kid Bullet versus CrossFit Rob. And our boy Billy Ray Daniels, takes on James Alexander. So this is kind of a little bit of a grudge match there because Billy Ray Daniels, who is one half of the Redneck Rockstars, never has had his rematch for the title that they lost to Muscle and Mayhem. And James Alexander just so happens to be in Muscle and Ham. So we got a little bit of a grudge match. Ooh, hey! $5, make you holla. Woo woo! Thank you, sir. I got to move that. I didn't realize that. Oh no, everything changed. Things are not going right the past few days with this live streaming thing.
That is not actually all that we know, because as we see in the live chat, what is it? Big Chuck's Body Slam Challenge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Big Chuck. Well, I'm not sure what's all that is involved in that, but it definitely sounds like it's going to be a good time. Tomorrow night, Clash Wrestling. They're in they're in Taylor. I forget how much tickets are, but you can definitely. Or no, they're not in Taylor. They're not doing it till February. I remember. That was on a list of shows that are not taking for tickets. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Then on January 20th, which is Sunday, XICW Season 6 of Proving Ground starts at the Hot Rock Cafe in Warren, Michigan. Yes, sir. $12 in advance, $15 at the door. You can get tickets for both shows in advance on their website, xicwdetroit.com, which, you can still buy tickets on the website if they're available, and you just print it out, and it's got a little barcode on it. You can probably just have them scan it off your phone, too.
Yeah,
I print it out. So there's no better way to kick off the season with a fans bring the weapons match.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so Josh is going to bring his golf bag full of weapons. We got a caravan of people that are meeting up at my house. We're heading down there. I think we're leaving here at 4:30. I have an extra spot open if you want to go, so let me know. Let's see here. MM3 faces his dad, DBA, and the fans bring the weapons. So that's definitely going to be a good time. Should make for quite the night. There's a 5:30 bell time. I'll be there with all my buds, Skyjacker's going to be hanging out with us, so, going to be a good time. Friday, January 25th, next week, MPWA will be at the Monroe Mall for a GA. GA tickets for adults are $10, while GA for children are only $8. Front row tickets are $13. Zoe Sky and the Monster Congo Kong are both scheduled to appear. You can buy tickets right on the Facebook page, which I found was awesome. Yeah. It's linked right to their Eventbrite page. So, nice. They have a ticket page, and you just go, it was really sweet. I haven't seen that yet. Not from anybody that I bought tickets from. But, yeah, so you can go on there, or you can go on there and look it up on Eventbrite. January 26th, which is the next day, BCWA presents Got Your Six in Wyandotte, Michigan. Our boy Justin Main, Truth Martini, and the mysterious Movado are all scheduled to appear. Doors open at 5:30 with a bell time of 6. Tickets are only $10 online or $13 at the door. Not a bad price, so you should go check out that show. February 8th, Horror Slam holds St. Valentine's Massacre 2 live from the Rockies Pub in Riverview, Michigan. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. Tickets are $12 for pre-sale or $15 at the door. There's also VIP booths available. There's a triple threat match that's scheduled for this event, and it's going to be MM3 versus our boy that we just interviewed, Nolan Edwards, and Dead King Logan. That's definitely going to be a good one. And then Jack Price and Aaron Orion of the Death Threat Army are in a tag team tournament against Lotus and the Dirty. I do believe that they're going to crown a tag team champion, so definitely want to check that out. And that's all I have for Indies. Now it's time to talk about the news. That's what we call All the Rage. That's right, All the Rage. When we come back. And we're back. Yeah. So, All the Rage. Big news today, and you guys were talking about it earlier in the chat room, but big news is, you know, Jungle Boy, who's been here. I've interviewed him all the way from California, live via satellite feed. No. But reportedly is signed with AEW, the new All Elite Wrestling, the new thing everybody, you know, is talking about. It's all the rage for sure. We talked about it this third week in a row. I certainly wish him the best of luck, and I'm sure everybody else in the chat does as well.
Oh, yeah.
I do know that there is somebody in the chat that does talk to him quite regularly, so I hope that he does very well out there, and he does, you know, just continues to do better. So that's awesome. Big shout out to that young man.
Very big.
Yeah, Walter, I don't know if you've ever seen this guy. He's an independent guy. He's wrestled in Progress and Evolve and all these other independent promotions, but he made his WWE debut for NXT, UK NXT, during their UK TakeOver pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Pete Dunne successfully defended his title against Joe Coffey, and shortly after the match was over, Walter came out, and basically there was no words exchanged because Walter doesn't have to talk. He's one of those people that you know when he walks out that something bad probably is going to happen. Yeah. It's kind of like one of those Undertaker things, you know, like, and he's the same way, and he doesn't speak very much, and he doesn't have to, so that's good. But I do believe Pete Dunne has been put on notice, so I don't know how much longer we could see Pete Dunne with the UK title.
Right, it might be short, might be a little bit longer. Have to wait and find out.
Yeah, definitely. He's supposed to make his in-ring debut, or he already has because it was the following day for the NXT taping, the NXT UK taping. So we should be seeing him in the ring on the network very soon. Shawn Michaels recently sat down with SkySports.com for an interview. Wonderful stuff. Everybody here loves Shawn Michaels.
Who doesn't?
During the interview, he said he no longer wants to wrestle.
Oh, just like Hulk Hogan said.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But, dude, he said that before.
Yeah.
And then the money. And what did he get? Like $2 million or something like that. He got for just that one event.
Yeah, you got a nice chunk of change for that one right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and a lot of people that I've talked to, they didn't want to see him wrestle again. Same thing like with the Undertaker. It's when you meet one of your heroes, and when you meet them, they let you down, and it's never the same again.
It's never the same.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, he was a lot of people's heroes, and everybody has a price. That's right.
Yep.
So I mean, what if the prince says I'll give you $5 million just to step in the ring? You know darn well the man's gonna do it because we know he loves his money, or else he would have just not did it.
He wouldn't have shown up.
Right,
He's not gonna
exactly.
show up for nothing.
Former Impact X Division champion Trevor Lee, I think he's won that title like 3 times, has signed with WWE. Lee informed fans after a match with CWF Mid-Atlantic in Gibsonville, North Carolina. So the match was over, and he grabbed the mic and I'm going to WWE.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. For $1 Million Man, that's right.
That's a way to go out,
Yeah.
Let everyone know where you're going.
Now, here's some really big news. WWE has changed their streaming providers, all right? So when the network debuted, and up until just a few days ago, they were using what's called BAMTech. BAMTech is their streaming provider, which operates Disney's streaming service. They have moved to Endeavor Streaming, which does streaming services for the NFL, NBA, Sky Sports, and Sportsnet. This means, of course, there are changes coming to the network. I wonder if there's going to be price changes. Now, I ask you out in the chat there, because I know probably a lot of you subscribe to the WWE Network. If there was a price increase, would you continue to subscribe? Would you cancel, or would you continue to subscribe? Would you pay more? That's the better question. What would you like to see on the network to justify a price increase? So, add all this stuff in there, and we'll read it off here as we go along. It's already been announced that the classic WWF Superstar show is going to end up on the network January 21st.
Yeah.
Okay, so 30 episodes, of the classic WWF superstars, which a lot of us grew up on.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I believe, wasn't that a Saturday morning show?
Yeah.
I could have been. I don't know. There was a condensed version that came on Saturday morning. That was one that I watched primarily when I was a kid. So that's awesome. But, yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Would you pay more? I mean, because obviously there's changes coming.
Yeah.
You know, and I subscribe to the network. And, you know, I don't really subscribe to the network for any of the live content per se, but more along of the lines of I canceled it was 10. And so, no. Well, well, aren't you just a little upset? Excuse me, sir.
It's $10.
$10.
Come on, Danny. Come on.
But, I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, I've already subscribed and, you know, barely watch it. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I mean, I had it for a while, but I didn't like how you had to like go searching for everything, and it was very hard at the time to try and find what I wanted to find. It was nice being able to search for like certain wrestlers and just pull everything up, but didn't have like everything they said it would have.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I don't know if you know this, but depending on the device you use to watch it, the interface is different.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, so I have Android boxes, and then I have one upstairs, and WWE Network absolutely sucks on that one, right? Rules on the PS4.
Really?
Cool on the NVIDIA Shield. Everything else, it kind of sucks.
Huh.
You know, well, and I take that back. The Fire Stick, it was okay. You know, I didn't mind it. It was all
you
right.
would think it'd just be kind of like one kind of generic, you know, look, but
Right.
maybe change it up maybe for your phone
Yeah.
or something. You know?
Well, and it could have to do with the coding of that, what it uses.
it could also.
Right, because I like, for instance, Amazon's proprietary stuff. So we know that Jerry the King Lawler won't be in AEW with all the signings of all these different people and all these different independents and so on and so forth. He's inked a new deal with WWE. During his podcast, Dinner with the King, he has re-signed. It's a 2-year deal, and according to Lawler, we're going to be hearing him call a match at the Royal Rumble.
But what about after the Royal Rumble? Then what?
Who knows? He's getting paid. He don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth on there. Independent talents, so more signings here. Independent talents, Hot Sauce, Tracy Williams. Yes, they call him Hot Sauce. I've watched him wrestle a couple times at Evolve. And PJ Black have signed a contract with ROH, Ring of Honor. Williams is widely known for his time in Evolve Wrestling, which that's how I know him, while Black was in WWE and TNA as well. So there's been a lot of talk about the recent segment WWE did with Alexa Bliss. All right, so I don't know if you've seen it. She was almost topless. Someone walked in and she was covered up. Okay, there's people that are like, yeah, woo, we're bringing it back. We're starting to get back to what we were. Attitude, you know. And then we have the, hey, NWO, nice to see you. And then we have the people that are like, oh, that was just too much.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Yeah, they're trying to have the whole kid-friendly show.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Like, how do you do both, you know?
Right.
You got to have some factor. That
you got to do something.
Yeah, you got to do something.
I don't really care. Truthfully, it doesn't bother me either way. But they're trying to be a bit riskier, you know, trying as much as they can.
Yeah, I mean, John Cena grew his hair out.
Josh says, someone told me at work, I washed as soon as I got home. Oh yeah, Mandy Rose and Naomi. That's who you're thinking of. He said Neon.
Yeah, yeah, that one right there. That one is interesting because it involves her husband. You know.
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
now we got another one of the cheating storyline things of the husband-wife thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one. And we haven't seen one of those in a while, but
not in a while.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk of it, you know, but it's bringing eyes to WWE and many, many views to the video on YouTube.
Oh, of course.
You know, well, and that's where they get a lot of their social media stuff from is YouTube. Like they do the upload stuff.
Yeah.
They're huge on YouTube. I don't know exactly how you guys out there feel, but I definitely think that WWE needs to do a little bit more of this. I'm not necessarily saying they got to show half naked women to do it.
Like they used to back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I don't think they have to do that. I think there's other ways to do it. And but if that's what they do, then that's what they do. But it's still not gonna make you want to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's got to be more to it. I got to be drawn in for a reason,
segment
for a story or something along them lines. Yeah, definitely. But one thing that comes out of this, I don't think WWE can do anything to keep the fans happy, to be truthful, because you have three sides to it. As always, you got one side's going to like it, one side's not going to like it, and then you're going to have the side that don't care. I fall into the I don't care. But you can't make either side happy.
Right.
Oh, it needs to be riskier. Oh, that's too risky.
Right, and then you get those people that are just upset over the fact it's too risky. They take their kids to the show. They see it on the Titantron. And now they have to explain to their kids what happened.
I'll explain to my kid. I don't care. Let's see what that is there, son.
This is great.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at.
Jericho recently revealed on an episode of his podcast that Impact Wrestling had offered him a deal. Put it on the table. He even went on to say that they had matches planned out and everything, but the offer that Khan, who is the financial backer for AEW, offered him was just too good to turn down. He says he really enjoys the product that Impact has, and he believes that Callis and D'Amore are doing a great job over there. I just haven't watched. I do need to watch. So tonight, after the show, I'm going to turn on Twitch, and I'm going to watch Impact because it's on at 10 o'clock on Twitch. So I'm going to do it.
And, of course,
I'm going to do it.
They are going after a lot of guys, giving them, like, a lot of money, and then WWE is being told, telling their talent that we'll double it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's nuts, man. That's a lot of money. Yeah. But what does that mean? Again, like I talked about with Josh last week, is there's opportunity. Yeah. That's a lot of people are getting signed right now to different places, which is awesome. Yep. Right? Now, there's AEW and whatever. Now the rumors of releases and who's going to go where and this, that, and the other thing. And there's rumors that the tag team, the Revival, have asked for their release, as well as Maria Kanellis and Mike Kanellis. But there's also been Maria went on Twitter and said that's not true, yada, yada, yada. So who knows, right? Now there's also rumors circulating that Dolph Ziggler might be moving on away from... Now there's nothing substantiating that he may or may not sign with AEW, but he is removed all of his social media. Dolph Ziggler.
He's going out the comedy tour.
Right. And we haven't seen him on TV since last month when he lost to McIntyre on Raw.
He came out when McIntyre came out, and he kind of like went out to was that this month or was that last month?
Well, as far as when I looked, it was Raw, as far as I know, on when they did the steel cage match.
All right.
He may have came out, but I don't see we've seen him compete. But it's still been a while. Yeah. And he's not active in any storylines anymore. Right.
Yeah, and I read that they gave him a kind of like a producer spot. What they wanted.
Yeah, and he turned it down.
He turned it down.
That's what are firing even more rumors.
Yeah.
Because he turned that down. So all right. Well, we are towards the end of the show. So guess what's going to happen? It's time for legit wrestling questions. So when we come back, we'll answer whatever questions you want. But you got to make sure it's about wrestling.
That'd be too legit.
Too legit. Hey. All right, when we come back. Bam, and there it is. So while we wait for a couple questions to come on in, don't forget to scroll down into that the description down there and click on that donation link. You can do that anytime, $5, $1, $2, whatever. Throw it up for that. Don't forget to smash the like button, please. Always share all this stuff. Share the video, share this anything, everything, Rasslin Rage. Don't forget, you can also get limited edition, 15. That's it. Once they're gone, they're
15,
gone.
that's it. You better get to them.
You know what? They kind of look. They kind of look like you. You remember how Pantera did like the tall letter here, tall letter here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. It says Rasslin and then Rage with the same thing in the middle underneath because I didn't want to do it all the way across the shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that one. Let's see here. Yeah, and there's all that stuff, www.shop.com and also highspots.com. So we got a couple questions. I believe, let's see. What is Alan's favorite match, WWE, all time?
Dang. That is so hard to answer. There's so many of them.
Mr. Tripatucker.
But I mean, there's a ton of Undertaker matches I can just, I can think of that it's just hard to pick just one because I mean, like he's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, and that's the thing when somebody is your favorite, you know, you're typically going to go with that with one of those matches.
But actually, to answer this, because I'm into the face paint and everything.
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and say when Goldust and Stardust came together, and they won the tag team championships, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember everything in the match like anyone could, but yeah, when
right
when they were together, those matches were always memorable. They're always sweet and.
One of the matches that for me historically was when Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair. I say that all the time, and the whole. I'm sorry and I love you. Yeah, man.
Right in the ring.
Man. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, even though he didn't actually retire after that and went on to, to go into TNA and wrestle, but, regardless, as far as WWE goes, it's the last time he wrestled in WWE ring.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Royal Rumble winner, male and female. Oh, boy.
Ooh.
You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
Well, R-Truth got the last spot? Is that
right?
right?
I believe so.
I mean, it'd be crazy to see him win, but I've liked him since he was back in the day as K-Quick, so if he won
and now Finn Balor's in the in the Universal title match, so he's not in there.
Yeah, he's not going to be in there. If John Cena wins it, I'll be way surprised.
Now, is Seth Rollins going to be in? I think Seth Rollins is going to be in the Rumble, and if Seth Rollins is in the Rumble, that's who I'm picking to win. Because he dropped his Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm thinking that it's his time to get a push. And if not, they're going to throw a wrench in there. Somebody else is going to win it, and Seth Rollins is going to be involved in some type of storyline with whoever wins the Royal Rumble.
That's
what I'm coming out on. As far as the women's Royal Rumble, I think that if it ain't Becky Lynch, it's going to be, because Sasha and Ronda are going at it, right? And then is Asuka still the women's title?
Yep.
So Asuka, does Asuka have a match for the Royal Rumble?
No, not.
I don't know. I have to look.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to look. Who knows? There's because I know it's Sasha and Ronda, but who's going is the SmackDown title's going up too? Women title? No, I don't want to look up Royal Oak. Why do I want to look
at Charlotte Flair?
You know what, by the way, NXT is coming back to Michigan. Royal Oak. It's on a Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I forget what the
How bad is Baylor going to get his butt handed to him?
Okay, so I've asked, somebody's asked me this before. All right? So let's talk about that for a second. All right? So I'm going to go with this. We've already got this I hate Vince McMahon thing coming from Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's been removed from the match. Finn Balor beats Cena and whoever else to get the opportunity, right? So Braun's mad, right? I think Brock Lesnar drops the title to Finn Balor by interference by Braun Strowman.
Oh.
That's
because he is so mad over this right now. That's a real strong possibility.
Yeah, I believe Balor, and then I think that Brock Lesnar's finally going to pay his $250,000 fine, and he's already in the pool. He's testing, and I think that he's going to start training.
Yeah,
and he's back to the UFC. Well, and I mean he's still going to fight. He's still going to be WWE, but Right now, he's going to concentrate on fighting because
Right.
he's if he pays his fine, I believe he's eligible to
Which
fight.
he can afford.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
well,
but he just doesn't want to pay it.
Yeah, because he's a big dummy.
I think for his small fry kind of guy Baylor might be. I mean, we've seen him be a high flyer.
Oh, it's
but-
Oscar Becky Lynch, so Becky
Oh.
Lynch won't be there. So I'm going with, man, of all the people, Natalia.
Yeah, I was just thinking like she's my favorite female wrestler.
Of all the
like, yeah.
people, Natalia. That's a good one.
But yeah,
Brock to AEW. Yeah, right. I don't think they can afford
I
Brock.
don't think they could either. It's
I mean, they probably could. Khan probably could, but I don't think it'd be worth it.
no,
Not for them.
No.
I don't think the payoff would be the payout for Brock.
that would
I
probably
don't-
just bankrupt them right there.
Yeah, I
like,
don't think it would.
that'd
I
take
don't
all
think
their
it'd be
money.
worth it. It's not going to be Finn. It's going to be the Demon King. We'll see.
Yeah, that
I
would
don't
be
know, 'cause
amazing.
I don't think he really likes that gimmick. But
I've
I could be
read
wrong.
that he doesn't do it that often because of all the energy and focus it takes just to get into character. But I used to see him do it all the time. Like,
What did PKSA Port Huron say that got him in trouble in the chat?
what?
He got a message retracted. I don't know. What did he do? He must have did something. But yeah, so let's see here. Who is your pick to take all for Proving Ground, even without knowing who the vets are? Ooh, man, oh man. Well, here's the thing is, I need to, before I make that call, Beals, I need to go to season 1. All right? I need to go to season 1 and see what I'm looking at. I like Nolan Edwards. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, I'm a Michigan fan, but I know when to not bet on football. You know what I mean? Sometimes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm a Lions guy, right? Like, I live in
Right.
Michigan, and I'll watch the Lions.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
never going to bet on the Lions to win, all right? Ever. Right?
Unless there's some fluke game where
Yeah,
they're going to win for
it's
sure.
not happening. So it's the same thing. I'm not going to put all my money or all my chickens in one basket just yet because I haven't really. I've only watched Nolan Edwards once or twice, and I'm not really familiar with all the other guys. I think I watched the other guy one time too, another one of the dudes. So I'm definitely gonna wait to make that call, Mr. Beals. Let's see here. Baylor wins. Brock to AEW. Don't you wish that evil in AEW? It's not. Okay, all right. So looks like the questions are winding down. So again, don't forget to keep watching the video or the YouTube to see what videos are posted because I still got to start doing this. I'm slacking. I want to do this video series, I guess you could say, for the restoration of my Hasbro rig.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I bought the rebuild kit,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna clean it up and just take the stickers off, do it. So I want to do a video for that, like a little series for that, and it'll be like 2-3 minute videos. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be, like today we're tearing off these stickers, right? But anyways, yeah, and I gotta do that, and there's also the Blake interview coming up.
Yes.
Do you have it? I was supposed to have somebody interviewed, but I don't know what happened. I was gonna have today. I was gonna have another one. I'm gonna reach out to him later, and I might. I don't know. We'll see. If I do, it's probably not gonna be live, which it's gonna be like tonight. That's what I meant to say. Man, wow, I'm out of it. And again, hopefully. That stupid server, man. I don't know what's
Oh,
going
man,
on.
that's
It's
terrible.
ticking me off. That's 2 weeks in a row it did that. Ugh. And I tested it all. It was all working. Everything was fine.
As soon as I show up.
Yeah, well, I did it last week too, so it wasn't your fault. Josh was here too. Josh witnessed all the F-bombs,
Oh.
And I did put $1, and you did witness me put $1 in for
Yep.
the T word
Sure did.
for
I've
the
seen it.
interview. Give me something good to drink then. I can't drink. Anyway, it's the beards. It's the beards. Oh, it could be. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Mr. Weir's joining me next week here again for the fourth time guest host on Rasslin Rage. It's always a good time when he stops in because we have a blast. And then after that, you'll find out who's coming next week, or you'll find out next week who's coming the following week.
Yep.
So, and it's going to be 2 people, not just 1. So check it out. And we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place with Mr. Weird. I want my jacket. What jacket? What is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. All right. All right, guys. We'll check you later.
We are the Death Road Army. Vehicle City villain Aaron Orion.
Black Diamond Jack Price.
The Wild Child Jody Threat.
And weaponized Alex Weir. And you're watching Rasslin Rage live on Friday nights at 8 o'clock on YouTube.